Welcome to QSR Nation, your weekly dose of food service marketing tips and business strategies for success. Here's your hosts, Josh Anderson, Beth Oots, and Anthony Pierce from the PFS Brands National Headquarters.
Hey everybody, welcome back to QSR Nation. As always, we have Josh, Beth, and Tony here from the PFS Brands National Headquarters in Holtzsupple, Missouri to talk about food service marketing and business strategies for success. Today we're going to talk about your store layout and how that can be of vital importance, especially as higher traffic times of the year, especially during summer. From aisle width to having a clear fire exit and things like that, it's all important to really take in for your whole location.
Absolutely. Making sure that you have the width that you mentioned there to accommodate folks that may have wheelchair necessities, to just being able to not feel like you're cramped.
Just the general flow of traffic. You don't want to make sure that your aisles are so cramped full of product and merchandise, and there's a lot of different vendors that you're trying to work with, and they all have different display cases that they want you to have, but it's not necessarily required that you have to be able to put that up. You don't want to have a wire basket full of some random chips and also granola bars to where it's blocking everywhere and no one's going to want to go down that aisle. You're just going to be losing out on sales.
For sure. And if your food service is in the back of the store, make sure you have some signs or something to point to where it is so everybody knows exactly where it's at right from the store.
Exactly. And there's a lot of places where, because the food service program was brought in after the store was built, and so it wasn't top of mind awareness in the planning design, and it's kind of an afterthought. Having that pathway is quick and clear to get to the hot food is really important. But as Beth said, you've got a lot of vendors you're working with, so you're trying to create a lot of merchandise opportunities out there, but making sure that it's comfortable to shop in. If people aren't comfortable, they feel compressed, studies have shown that they'll spend less. So having that breathability as a consumer to know they can walk in and have their kid with them and not knock everything off the shelves as they're walking just down the aisle to get to the soda cooler, for instance. Those things are really important. And like you mentioned at the beginning, Josh, with summer traffic, people coming in and out, probably have a higher traffic counts than normal. All that can play into not just the comfortability of the shopper, but when it's really tight and cramped and things are close like that, it can also lead to theft. Increases just because it's easier for folks to grab things off a shelf and it's hard to see around and it's not open. So a lot of opportunities there for bad things to happen if you're too cramped. But there's also a lot of really great things available if you can open that up.
Especially, this is very specific to the C-store market. Whenever you have the supermarket aspect of it, they have lots of room. Well, typically they have a lot more room to work with. So make sure that you are using those merchandising cases, such as your cold case, or if you needed to move that over to a different area to where you can also entice those customers that may not necessarily be looking for a hot food program at that moment or a hot food selection, that as they're checking out, they're realizing, hey, there is a cold case here that I can go ahead and purchase these items. That will entice more purchases in the future.
And we do have an entire store planning division that anybody can reach out to when they're thinking about building a brand new C-store, or do we help the grocery store? Anything really.
Well, and remodeling as well.
Remodeling,
Because there's a lot of times you decide, hey, my floor plan maybe isn't ideal, but I really want to add food service so I can add better margin items, and that's one thing that hot food programs bring, are really great margin items in there for your customers and of course for the retailers to profit from. So there's a lot of opportunities there. The planning and design aspect is going to be key, and making sure that you've got everything that you need to flow well so the consumer experience is better. And we've talked before, better consumer experience, higher average ticket, more spend.
Exactly.
Yep, that's a huge value add we can offer any prospective retailer or current retailer. If you have any questions, you reach out to us at mdf@pfsbrands.com. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast at pfsbrands.com/podcast. Anything else you guys want to add about store planning?
Just make sure to use those planograms and the different resources that each of your vendors specifically use, just to make sure that you are setting up your kiosk correctly, or whatever type of program that you are using. But if you ever have any questions, reach out to our project management team. They're always great with making sure that those layouts are going to be working out perfectly for you.
Great. Yep. And next week we will be off actually for the July 4th celebration. So enjoy your Independence Day and be safe out there, because fireworks can be dangerous.
And fun.
But dangerous. Be careful.
Be careful. All right. For Josh, Beth, and Tony, and everybody here at QSR Nation, we'll talk to you in 2 weeks.
Stop by next week for another QSR Nation episode or visit pfsbrands.com.